Moving on to the topic of what is this show about? What is this channel about? I just want to explore life. I mean, all the mediums I have, whether it's podcasts or blogs or um, I'm also working on a graphic novel with Argentinian illustrator and artist Gerard Gonzalez, an incredible artist. So, yet another form to document the fiction of life, the novel of life. Because what is truth? What did happen? It's not so important to write down for me what actually happened. It's more important for me to use the raw material of my past to create a satisfactory. It doesn't even, when I say satisfactory, it makes it sound like I'm creating um, some past that is a false, sort of giving me some false gratification. The stories I create probe my past deeply. They take apart my past like an archaeologist takes apart the site. And what I create from that is fiction. I don't hold myself to any standard of what actually happened. I follow my instincts, and my instincts tell me to create what I create the emotional truth of what happened, and that is sometimes through fictional composite characters. I'm going to explore on this channel poetry, philosophy, writing. I have a lot to talk about writing. I've been a writer for many years now, and I have a lot of experience. It's what drives me. It's what I wake up for in the morning. Other than reading, I love writing, and I have lots of things to talk about in terms of tips and things just that I've learned. I'm also a philosopher. The Book of Innocence is a blog I keep. It's also a book. I'm writing it as chapter by chapter. And to explain the difference between the novel of life and the Book of Innocence, I have, well, right now, the novel of life is my past, my adolescence. I'm recording the fictional history of my adolescence. And the Book of Innocence is my present. It is life as I understand it right now. Because it is present, I'm going to have a different perspective on my life. Everything in retrospect looks differently. And so I'm able, with the novel of life, to have a more comprehensive understanding of the past. But with the Book of Innocence, I'm exploring life as it happens, day by day. And those are my chapters of life as it happens. One theme that you'll see that threads all of my writing is the histrionic instinct. The person who I'm quoting here is Lin Yutang, and Lin Yutang says that we're all actors, and we all have a role we're playing for others in a part that is that the role that we're playing is gratifying them, and we're playing up to the expectations of this role. So you might ask, well, what is my role? Well, I've always been a student. I've always been a hard worker, and even in my addiction, I was getting straight A's in school before I dropped out. I am playing a role. There is no doubt. And the role I am playing is almost impossible to break out of. I've been playing it for so long. The freedom to be a writer is sort of a compromise between what my father wanted me always to be and my own choice. My father probably, above everything, raised me without even knowing to become a scholar. And as a writer, I feel like I have obeyed his wishes and at the same time broken them. My father wanted to become a writer himself, and reading was very important to him, and he really he influenced me in my love of reading. Even though in the beginning of my life I rebelled against it, I soon came to love reading and really cherish the power and the knowledge in open books. So finally, I took some books off my shelf, and I'm going to just show you a couple books that are important to me. Tolstoy is one of my favorite authors. I'm a lover of realism, French and Russian realism. Balzac was one of my first favorites. Lost Illusions was a novel that I cherished, and probably Russian realism is this close second. Leo Tolstoy's Childhood, Boyhood, and Youth is an amazing model for my novel of life. And Tolstoy was doing this long before anyone else, and it's a novel about, just as it says, childhood, boyhood, and youth. It's not straight autobiography, but it's really thinly veiled. He does use a quote-unquote fictional character for his protagonist, but he's more or less telling about his life in a memoir form. And this was his first book. Tolstoy was interested in recording his life. He also obviously wrote Anna Karenina. I'm not a Tolstoy scholar. I don't know what the parallels between Anna Karenina, and although there are parallels between Anna Karenina and his own life, but Childhood, Boyhood, Youth is a great place to start if you want to try Tolstoy light. Not necessarily War and Peace, but a fairly simple novel about Tolstoy's beginnings. And then if you need a literary critic to go along with that, I highly recommend Viktor Shlotsky, an amazing Russian theorist. The book that really inspires me here is Energy of Delusion, published in a publishing house very near here, the translation that is in English. So let me see here. Shlotsky has some amazing ideas, and he seems to understand Tolstoy intuitively, and there is this deep psychological connection between them. Here's a book I just grabbed off the shelf called The Accidental Masterpiece, on the art of life and vice versa, by the New York Times art critic Michael Kimmelman. A really great short. It's like my computer screen is turning off because it's been running so long. A really great book, a short read. If you're interested in art and the connection between art and life, and that's something that really interests me. I'm interested in the art of life and the life of art, and that's the subtitle of this book.